I do consider myself someone with a lot of courage. I do take action often. Look, I knew very early on that I was unemployable. The hair loss problem, and we go out with a full head of hair, and there's nowhere in the world that we were able to practice what that would feel like. Act sooner rather than later, because way too many people wait too long to ask a question. By the time you notice hair loss, there has been a significant change, and your ability to regain the ground is lessened. And my number one hot tip for retaining your hair is please wash your hair. Twice a week is not going to cut it, all right? Please wash your damn hair. It passes anyway, so you may as well do it doing something that you're interested in. The only purpose in life is to be human, have the experience. That's right. I feel like I have to prove myself a lot before I'm allowed to go and have conversations with people who I view as already successful or already done what I want to be doing. And I'm happy to do the reps. Like, I don't think that we should be handed anything. I do have a belief that we should work for it. And, you know, luckily that's my forte. I love to work. I love to grind. I think it's really important to accept responsibility for what's happening in your life. And there's actually great freedom in that, because if you caused it, then you can change it.
That's right.
Welcome
That's right.
to Talk with the Courageous Heart. I'm glad you are here today. Let's take a moment to breathe, settle in, and begin today's conversation.
Kia ora whanau, welcome to another episode of Talk with the Courageous Heart. As I promised you last time, I have another courageous heart today. Before I get this person in, I just want to quickly do a small introduction. Well, I met this person, I crossed path with this person when I went to salon. She has her own salon. She made and she continued to make a huge impact in people's lives. And we will talk about how she make that impact as we go through this journey. So without further ado, I would like to invite Cleo Grater. Come on in, please. How are you, Cleo?
I'm great, thank you.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for saying yes.
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate that. Well, before I dive in, I just want to ask you, I kind of know who you are, but many people might know who you are. Many people might not know who you are. So if I ask you, who are you? How would you describe yourself briefly?
Well, it depends whether it's who I am as a person or what it is that I do. Lots of people know who I am because I've been a hairdresser for so long. So, I'm somebody who helps facilitate confidence through hairdressing solutions and that kind of stuff. Who am I as a person? I'm somebody that's always up to something. I am always evolving, and I'm always looking to understand more about myself and how I can administer myself in the world.
And I just want to say that probably I see myself as a confident man. Probably it has a lot to do with you as well.
I think possibly that's always been the case, though. Maybe a bit of icing on the top. I think that's probably always been you.
Just want to say that you made a huge impact in my life as well.
Oh, that's so nice.
And thank you for that. I appreciate that. But before I go any further, let's just dive into the first question, which is, I always ask my guests what courage for them is. So could you please give me your own definition of courage? And could you please bring me back to a place where you had to be courageous?
Well, for a long time I adopted that phrase of, courage is the ability to act in the face of fear. And, for a long time I kind of adopted that because I do consider myself someone with a lot of courage. I do take action often. But when I really thought about it, I think that courage is, for me, is the willingness to look at yourself, to look in the mirror and accept what you find and then to take action on it. So
wow, that's really good definition. And could you please bring me back to a place where you had to be courageous?
Well, I think it's a personality type because I don't typically think about whether I'm going to act courageously or not. I just kind of do. I'm fortunate that I have a bias towards action. So the biggest problem is probably slowing down a bit. I have a thought and then I'm like, well, I think all my ideas are brilliant, so obviously I should do that immediately. But the real courage is I started working with a business coach about 18 months ago, and I've always engaged professionals at every stage of my life. From 16 I started seeing professionals, and so I've always got a teammate to work with.
Oh, nice, that's good.
And the courage was I had a session with her, and she's a mental skills coach, so it's around understanding who it is and how you behave and how that's getting in the way and that kind of stuff. And I started seeing her because I was really stuck in my business. I'm a very motivated person. I work very hard. I love to do that. But I still kept coming back to the same spot, like a little one-legged duck swimming around a pond, going round and round in circles. And I was really tired of that. And I was working with her, and we had this real tipping point, this real moment where I got to see myself in all my glory and all my ugliness. And the courageous part was to really accept that and take massive amounts of personal accountability in order to change it. And it was an absolute key moment for me and has completely changed the trajectory of my life and my business.
Yeah, and just want to acknowledge that too, because realizing that you always come back to this place where you can kind of feel like you're stuck, and you're realizing that you realize, I think I need help. I think I need to talk to someone who knows better, and to go there as well. I think it is courageous as well, just to seek that help and saying, I think I need more professional help, just to go take a step forward. And that leads me to my next question, which is, you have a salon, and I think you told me that you having your own business since probably for 20 years.
Oh yeah, longer than that.
Oh yeah.
I owned my first business at 19, and I'm almost 52. So
wow. You look
I'm not great at maths, but I think that's possibly more than 20 years. 30, I'm gonna say.
But almost 30 years, I would say.
Yeah, long time.
And let me just ask you, what made you decide to start your own salon rather than work for someone else?
Oh, look, I knew very early on that I was unemployable. I remember years ago I saw this T-shirt and I wish I had bought it. It says, "Does not play well with others." It's like, I knew very early that I was an individual. I really like working with people in terms of collaboration. And I get to do that a lot in my work now. I really like coming across people who are really good at what they do, and you all come together with a focus on a problem you're solving or something that you're bringing together, and then you all go away again. Like, it's working with people like that. I love that. But, working in a team with rules set by other people is not my forte. And I was a very young apprentice in a salon being run by somebody who wasn't a hairdresser. They just purchased a salon. And I just had this very clear moment where I looked at it and thought, I cannot suffer the mistakes of fools. I cannot tolerate having to do things when I can see that there is another way to do it. So I'm really happy to suffer the consequences of my own mistakes. I'm not happy to suffer the consequences of others' mistakes. So I just took a really sharp turn really quick.
Wow, that takes a lot of self-awareness too.
I know. I think I was just a terrible, awful teenager with I knew everything, obviously, and I was just like, So,
but I mean,
retrospectively, it looks better than what it was at the time. At the time, it was really awful. But
I mean, I think we all have that time, like as teenagers.
Where you're like,
no,
I'm so embarrassed.
I just don't want to. There are many things I did when I was a teenager. I don't want to even look back.
Don't worry, you got time. You got plenty more mistakes to come. It's okay.
And talking about business, people often see the finished business and how successful it is, but they don't talk about what happened behind the scene.
Yeah.
What has been one of the hardest challenges you have had to overcome as a business owner?
I think, the problems of everyday operations and stuff, I don't think they're that difficult because there's lots of people who have done it before. Yeah. There's lots of people who have answers. There's lots of support to take on and stuff like that. As long as you're willing to ask the questions, you can get that. And now in the wonderful world that we live in, you can just Google that or AI that and they can help you out, right? Yeah. But I think the hardest thing for me was acknowledging that you are on your own in your business, particularly in the business that I was in as a hairdresser, because there's not any middle management in hairdressing because the businesses aren't large enough. Yeah, okay. So you don't have anybody who is in the same situation as you within the business, so you don't have any allies in that sense because employees are in their own group of allies and you never get to be a part of that because you're the boss making the calls.
Oh, I see.
So you're always upholding standards or handing down reprimand or having tough conversations or setting the trajectory of the business that people may or may not agree with and then there's all the changes that go on within industries. So I think the hardest thing was feeling so terribly isolated and alone and knowing that the buck stopped with you and it was really difficult to see that when you are an employer and you're trying to take a group of people somewhere, they may or may not agree with your vision. Right. And I think that there are real limitations of trying to use a group to go where you want to go.
Yeah. And so I was going to ask you something. What was it? Oh, so correct me if I'm wrong. So as a hairdresser, I think you just make your own clients. Is that right?
That's not how I ran my business model.
Okay. Can I ask how you ran your business?
Yeah, for sure. How I ran it is that back in the day, I used to have a small South Island chain of salons. I had 6 salons and 52 staff. And
so you own 6 salons?
I own 6 salons with 52 staff.
Wow.
And then that was when I sort of started with it was okay in the malls because you kind of always had, I called it the river that fed. Okay. Like you always had people walking past. That the environment provided the clientele. And then when I moved away from that and I went back into a singular salon, it was still in a mall, but not the large malls like we know here in Christchurch. Yeah. And I made the decision then that it was going to be my job to market the salon and get people in the door in the seats. So that for the hairdressers that I employed, I was really interested in them just doing the kind of work that they'd like to do because then they would do a great job, they'd enjoy themselves, the clients would enjoy themselves, and if they didn't want to do the kind of work that was coming through the door, then I'd find a hairdresser that did like that kind of work. I see. So I saw it as my job to really do a lot of marketing and build the clientele for at least provide the opportunity for the hairdressers to build clientele. And then it's the connection of the hairdresser to the client that builds the clientele and gets the repeat business. So it's kind of like I land the fish and then you cook it, so that's how it worked.
So may I just ask today?
Yeah.
All I know that you have a salon.
But it's changed a bit since you've been. My business has changed a lot.
Yeah, so how many salons you got now?
So I just have my studio at the house, which I've been to, and I now have 0 staff. Okay. Yeah, and I do still provide hair loss solutions in a one-on-one situation, but as you know, I make shampoo and stuff. That's right, so Uncommon, the brand, which supports my hair loss work and salons, is going really well. It's growing really great. We have 13 stockists now, and we're actually conducting a clinical trial at the moment for our hair regrowth spray because we now have hundreds of before and afters of it going really well for people. Nice. I'm a scientist at heart, so we are having it tested in a laboratory in Auckland at the moment. That's amazing. So it'll be completed in October, so super excited about that. So my business has changed now where I only service hair loss clients, and I'm very much into and leaning into making my hair loss solutions custom, but also as realistic as possible. So I'm really niched down on that part there.
Wow.
And I've made my salon experience as calm and as chill as possible.
It is actually, yeah.
And it's got even more so because it's just myself and I only service one person at a time so that I can do whatever is required and take however long is required for that person to be like, okay, I think I can walk out the door in public with this because there's no reference point to getting hair, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So we go in with a hair loss problem and we go out with a full head of hair, and there's nowhere in the world that we were able to practice what that would feel like.
That's right.
So we've got to go through the whole journey at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
While they're there, and sometimes we need a little more cooking time, you know? So that's why I only see a couple of people a day. Maximum. And another part of my business now is Uncommon is in 2 pharmacies in Christchurch. And I go to those pharmacies on Tuesdays and give hair loss consultations to people. And we use my experience from the last 36 years as a hairdresser, the last 20 years in hair loss, and the expertise of the pharmacist and the doctors as well to help people understand where their hair loss is coming from, whether we can do something medically for them or whether hair restoration through hair pieces and stuff is what I should provide for them.
And I mean, the work you do is amazing. Let me just acknowledge that.
That's fun.
And that leads me to my next question, which is, as we talked about earlier, you help people navigate hair loss, you know, you help them to find their confidence back. And what has it been like to witness those transformations?
On the surface, it's like, yes, I do this thing, and they walk out and they feel wonderful, and I'm, you know, blah blah. But it's not really like that. It's hair loss and providing a solution that somebody can be comfortable with, whatever way that is, whether that's regrowing hair, wearing hair, you know, whatever it is. Sometimes the solution is actually just acceptance.
Oh, okay.
And they just have a nice haircut to work with because not everybody wants to wear a hairpiece.
That's right. Yeah.
But people do need permission to choose the thing for them that's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a transformation, actually. I think it's more of a revealing. It's just permission and a few skills to get people back to themselves because it's not transforming. They were always there. They were always there. And I'm just helping them walk along the path with a few skills and a lot of permission.
That's right.
To where they are.
Yeah, that's right.
To where they already are. And it's just a returning to the self. It is.
And I think, I mean, I've been there as well. It's not the nicest feeling. It's more like mentally that you're down, I feel like.
Yeah,
and
it's the noise, right?
Yeah, it's the noise. Yes,
it's the noise because it's a record player.
Yeah.
It might be quiet, but it is always there.
Yeah.
It never turns off.
No.
It's in the back of your head all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, we all have experiences through life, and we have a filter that we run that through. And for people with hair loss, it's that, and it's the noise that gets turned up on that. Is in, I'll be looked over, I don't hold as much value as somebody else, I can't go for that job, I can't speak to that girl. For my lady a couple of weeks ago, I don't want to embarrass my son at his wedding, in his wedding photos. It's like, my God, he will not be embarrassed of you. He doesn't view you through your hair, you view you through your hair. It's that constant in the back of the mind. And when people get hair that works for them, whether they regrow it, whether they put it on, whether they have a haircut that they're like, do you know what, I'm cool with that, it just stops.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
they don't have to run that filter. You can choose something else to be bothered by now.
That is so true.
I should have been taller, you know, I don't know, whatever it is, right? But that you now are free to live your life.
Yeah, and I think my next question, you kind of answered it for me, but I'll ask again if you want to add something. What would you say to someone who is struggling with hair loss and no longer feels confident in themselves?
Sure. So what there would be two things around it. I would say to people who are experiencing hair loss or think that there is a hair problem, act sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Because way too many people wait too long to ask a question, and you could have done something earlier.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
If we're already past that point, that's not that helpful.
That's right.
But what I would say to people is that, a little bit different for you because you move really fast, but hair loss is a journey and finding the solution is also a process. And so the thing you start with is probably not going to be the hair you finish with. And so just make a start.
Yeah.
And just begin, and don't place so much importance or meaning on that very first thing because you can change that and adapt it and you'll end up where you need to be, but it's unlikely to be on the first day.
That's right, that's right.
So just start. Yeah, don't make it, us humans, we attach so much meaning to everything, every interaction, right? This is going to be the thing. And all of those feelings are going to go away and I'm never going to have any troubles again because it's just the hair. Yeah, it's not just the hair. But also the likelihood that will change immediately, like it's not. It will change, but it tends to be over a period of time and through the process. So just start and give yourself a chance. Don't make that so important.
That's interesting you said that act sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because I think I've been reading and listening to one of the people that talk about hair loss. When you realize you're like you're losing your hair, you already lost more than 50%. I feel like that's something, I don't know how true it is, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know around the percentage, but definitely by the time you notice hair loss, there has been a significant change and your ability to regain the ground is lessened. I think the thing is. Right. And there's sort of two parts to hair loss, right? So there is, gathering back the ground that you've lost, however you do that. But there's also retaining what you have as well, because hair loss can be preventative as well. So there can be things like, so in New Zealand, the statistics are 40.1% of men and 40% of women experience hair loss.
Oh, wow.
So of the four of us sitting here in the room, up to about two of us experience hair loss and, two of us here, because hair loss started for me, which was probably I was like, okay, well, that's how I'm going to lean into it because it was my own experience. So, that there's a fair chance that it's going to be an issue for you, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So one of the things that you could be doing is using restorative shampoo or spray that is going to help maintain things. You don't have to have a hair loss issue to think, I'm going to make sure I take care of my hair. And my number one hot tip for retaining your hair is please wash your hair. Twice a week is not going to cut it, all right? Please, wash your damn hair, okay? I know it's a thing like the natural oils. The natural oils are being a problem. Please wash your head, okay? So if nothing else, please, let's wash our hair more often than not.
See, you heard her, wash your damn hair.
Yeah, wash your damn hair.
And one small question. So you work with many people who experience losing hair. And is it fair to say that you maybe also working with people who going through chemo and those kind of things?
No, I don't actually work with very many people who are receiving treatment for cancer. I do have some, but the Cancer Society, and trust me, I've tried to get in with them many times, they have their person that they reckon, and it's not me. That alliance was made a very long time ago, and I wasn't doing it then.
Because it's funding, because they're funding.
Yeah, well, I think it's more a case of they, found somebody who they could refer people to when there wasn't many people to choose from, and they have a long relationship, and so of course they do that. But honestly, how I work with people is they notice a problem and they want to know what the source is. And the most common conversation I have with people these days is that, one, they're men. That's a very linear experience. I'm sorry, you lose your hair because you are a man. That's like, it's the testosterone. I'm so sorry. But, at least you know what it is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so there's that. The other group of people, for the women that I work with, the most common conversation I have is, I have been to my doctor and I haven't had any information that makes me feel more confident or able to make any other choices or to be able to do anything. I have no further answers or feeling of a direction to go in, and so now I'm sitting in your chair.
Yeah, and look, thank you for being kind enough to share all those information with us. And I just wanna move forward with. I just wanna ask you, moving forward. You already have like 36 years of experience being hairdresser and owning businesses.
Yeah.
And looking ahead, what's something that you wanna achieve, and also you think that also requires much, like take a risk or being courageous? What's something that you want to achieve in next few years, I would say?
Oh, well, look, I have a list as long as my arm. I feel like I probably need to live until I'm about 112 to get everything done that I want to.
Okay.
I think I can retain this face for that long. So, I mean, there's lots of things that I want to do. What it is that my big goal is that I want the industry to be held to higher standards. I think that if you produce products in the world, that they should do what you say that they're going to do, and that people shouldn't be misled by marketing and ideas and things like that. So my overarching goal is that the power goes back into the hands of the consumer, and that we demand and expect better results from things, and that if things are genuinely cosmetic, then they should state that and not suggest that they can do other things for people. And I would like to continue to provide the world with information and options, and to educate people so that they have some power and some choices. As far as what is it that I think that I will need courage for, I kind of feel like I've already made my move around removing the barriers in my way. I don't, I've always been pretty like ballsy, but I don't think you can say that on podcasts. But I don't feel afraid of anything. I feel very, very privileged and very free, and just very lucky that I get to live the life that I do every day. It didn't fall out of a tree that I was walking past. It's been created, but I do kind of feel like I've been gifted it as well. So I am absolutely sure that whatever comes along, I have the experience, the skills, or the personality type to get through it.
Yeah, and I think that's very interesting. You said that it didn't, you weren't born with it. It was created. Because I kind of can relate to you, because I do these street interviews, that requires me to talk to strangers. And like about 7-8 months ago, I just couldn't imagine myself doing that. I see myself as a very introvert. But once I get to know the person, I'm very extrovert. But like I just didn't have it in me to talk to strangers and ask, would you like to ask a question? But like doing that for 8 months, like now I just don't feel afraid anymore. I just don't feel nervous anymore to talk to strangers. And I think that's right, what you said. It doesn't just fall out of a tree. You just have to take the first step anyway. And it will, you will learn as you take
the time passes anyway. The time passes anyway. So you may as well do it doing something that you're interested in. The only purpose in life is to be human, have the experience, right? And once you get to the point where you're not running the victim mindset, which is thinking that everything pertains to you. It's actually got very little to do with you. Once you realise that nothing's personal, no one's out there doing anything to you, because, man, they don't even know who you are. Don't worry about it. No one is looking. It's okay.
No one cares what you do.
No one cares. No one cares. They only care about themselves, which is wonderfully freeing, because then you are also free to do whatever you want, because no one's watching. Everyone's watching and no one's watching, you know? And so you may as well do something that you are interested in.
That's right.
And, if you do happen to feel like somebody who can share it with other people, you would be surprised at what impact it has on people. When you sent those questions to me, when you asked me if I wanted to come, I was like, how cool. I want to do that. That's great fun.
I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I was like, I think I need to get into a place where I can kind of gain my confidence, and I was like, okay, I think when I talked to you, I thought, I think that was time for me to try and ask her. Even if she say no, I can ask her later anyway. Even if she say no, But I'm very grateful you said yes, and you are here today. And
I think sometimes, look, I'm a very extroverted personality. I take up all available space, always have done. But I think sometimes people misconstrue that and think that I'm not approachable. I actually always give everyone and everything a chance.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I never thought you were approachable, but I think I've been to a salon, and I think you were very nice, and I think you were very down to.
Could have gone either way.
And you have a really good sense of humor too, as well.
Yeah,
and
you've got to let off the pressure valve
when
you're shaving people's heads, and you've got to have a mechanism, because that is a lot to be looking at. You're like, okay, like there's no way around it. And you kind of get to the point where you're like, are you ready? Because now we have to shave your head. We can't talk anymore.
Yeah, I think what I was worrying about was I was thinking, okay, I think I need to build reputation, and then I can probably approach these people. So I think I kind of waited for a few months. Then I have interviewed some people. Then I kind of have the experience, so I can reach out to people like you. And
well, that's really interesting, because I'm in the same place, thinking that I'm in different rooms now than I was once upon a time in terms of business.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I have to prove myself a lot before I'm allowed to go and have conversations with people who I view as already successful or already done what I want to be doing. And I just went to my first expo in Auckland, the Hair and Beauty Expo, which was our first really big announcement of our brand to the world and stuff. And I thought, little minnow, big fish, I'm going to have to swim. But people are very open and willing and kind and help and give information and stuff like that. You just have to ask. I mean, if they say no, we're off.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
you just move on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And I think that's the mindset I have. Like, even, not everyone going to say yes, obviously. And people will reject you, but you can't take it personal. You just have to move on.
Busy, and I know it's astounding, but sometimes they don't have enough time for your thing.
That's right. And that's so true. And I was going to ask you this question later, but I will ask you, since you mentioned your expo in Auckland last weekend. How was it? How did it go?
It's fantastic. It was beyond what I was expecting. It was nothing like what I expected. It was a fantastic announcement for us to the industry to say that we're available. I had so many fantastic conversations with people. As always happens, we were completely different to what was there, but I came away with a lot of confidence from it, because the thing about Uncommon, and you've had an experience of it, but the thing about Uncommon is that we are all about solving everyday problems for people. So what we're really in is the business of relief. Finally it works. Or finally there's an answer. Finally there's an option. Those kinds of things.
That's right.
And I came away from that and being like, we are on the right path. We are on the money with this, because it's not just another bottle of shampoo.
That's right.
And we're having conversations with people about things that matter to them, and we are offering genuine solutions. And I just came away from it so pleased about we just need to keep doing what we're doing. And it's one person at a time, it's one conversation at a time, it's one bottle of shampoo at a time. And I'm here for the long game. I see that the business that I'm in now is like the next 25 years of my life, my next phase. So I mean, I love the grind. I love when it's ugly and it's hard and you just got to keep turning up day after day. I love that place.
And
it's like being at the gym and you're like, man, this sucks. This is great.
And I think the most important thing is all the grind you do it for yourself. Because
it's fun.
And you build a future. You're working for your own business. Your own thing.
And I'm happy to do the reps. I don't think that we should be handed anything. No. I do have a belief that we should work for it.
Yeah.
And, luckily that's my forte. I love to work. I love to grind.
That's really good. And thank you for being very open and sharing all the things that you shared. I have one more question, but before I go there's a part I let my guests ask me a question.
Yeah.
But it's only optional. You don't have to ask me a question.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, I do. I was thinking about it and I'm like, am I supposed to ask the question that, helps move the podcast forward or whatever? But I'm just really interested to know, how did you get up one day and you were like, you come from another country, this is not your first language, you're introverted, and it's like, how does somebody like that get up and go, do you know what, I'm going to ask strangers if they want to talk to me on camera? Like, that's going to be awesome. Like, how does that happen?
I think that's a really interesting question, actually. That's fair question. Well, to be honest, I always felt there's a calling for me. There's something to do with public speaking. Even though English is my second language, when I moved here, I didn't know how to speak English at all. So this is my high school as well, where we're filming. And I studied here 3 years, and I graduated when I was 20 years old. I was the oldest kid in the batch. But look, I think one day, I think it was my birthday, that I think I told this story a few times, but basically what happened was I bought a saxophone for my birthday last year, and I realized, okay, I'm gonna learn this instrument because I love music, and this is for my birthday gift. I'm gonna learn it, and I'm gonna video myself, and I'm gonna post it on TikTok.
Woo! That's a big goal.
And there was a time.
TikTok is wild.
Yeah. And there was times, and she knows, I even brought my saxophone at work and at practice.
Oh, good. That's so cute.
But one thing I noticed when I record my first video, I was like, because I was very insecure about my voice. But then when I played what I recorded, I was like, okay, my voice is not too bad. I can do something with it.
Yeah.
But I never thought that I want to start a podcast. But one day that I go to this church, and we were just worshiping, and I was like, oh my God. Then I was like, in my mind, there was a voice. I was like, oh, I can start a podcast.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't have anything planned what I'm going to do. Then I talked to my leader right away after worship, and I was like, bro, I wanna interview people. And he was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And I was like, can you be my kind of first guest? And he was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And then I started, and I think I was very lucky enough I had two people that was able to help me put everything together within 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I was able to start filming as well. And it was very nice, but looking back, I also realized I have come a long way as well.
Sure.
Because I remember first shoot or second shoot, and after every word I speak, there's filler words coming out. Because I had no experience of hosting anything. Yeah. And now I'm just going Toastmasters and those kind of clubs, and to improve my public speaking. And I'm quite really enjoying it. And I think I don't know where exactly this podcast is heading, but I really I'm loving interviewing people. Hopefully I answered your question. Is that?
Yeah, I think it's really important to follow your nose. You don't need to know exactly where it is.
That's
but
right, yeah.
I think if you move towards something that interests you and that feels like it's got some legs, and put the reps in, it'll reveal itself.
And that is so true, because it's, I think what they call it, boredom of repetition, but you gotta do it. And I do that every night. I just go to work and come home and edit videos and those kind of thing, and preparing for shoots. Keep me busy and makes me happy. Yeah. I feel like I'm heading somewhere, but it's
actually enough.
Yeah, that's enough. And I also came to this. It started this. I didn't look at the short-term growth.
Yeah.
I was looking at the long-term goal, long-term growth. I was like, okay, I think this is going to take me at least 2-3 years for me to get into a place where I can proudly say, oh, okay, I have a good podcast, and I'm okay with it, with it. And hey, hopefully I gave you a fair answer. You can.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I just sort of, it was like, what is this kid doing? It's interesting, right?
Yeah, because I think when
doesn't he work at the hospital? Like, what's going on?
I do, and that's my work, and I still do, and I love this. To be honest, like, it's a lot of work, but I do love it, and I as you mentioned earlier, I love the grind. As long as it's something that I'm building for myself, I love the grind.
Yeah. And as long as you're interested, that's all that matters.
And look, thank you for asking that very interesting question. And my last question is that I ask all of my guests, which is, what is one sentence you would say to someone who feels like giving up right now?
Everything that you imagine and dream of is on the other side of self-awareness and radical self-accountability.
Could you explain me about the radical
accountability?
Yes, please.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's always your fault. Wherever you are and the things that are happening to you, it's your fault. It's either an attitude or it's a set of behaviours that are seemingly small but add up to a large outcome or something like that. I think it's really important to accept responsibility for what's happening in your life, and there's actually great freedom in that because if you caused it, then you can change it.
That's right.
Yeah, and it can start immediately, like the very next action you take, the very next thought you take, the next drink you have, the next thing you eat, whatever it is, that trajectory can start to change immediately. There need not be any time in between. You don't need anything. You just need to change your mind.
That's right.
But first, in order to do that, you must accept that it's your fault. It's your problem.
That makes more sense, actually, to be honest. Thank you for saying that. And it's like, okay, that is so true, because you can't move on if you don't accept that it's your fault. And once you accept that it is the way it is, then you can move forward. And
you are the problem and the answer.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, thank you so much for that very beautiful insight and beautiful the way you word it as well. It was so beautiful. I just want to say again, thank you for coming today. I do really
it's been
appreciate
fun. I've had a blast. It's a great time. What a great thing to do on a Sunday.
So I hopefully you had a good time.
Oh, I had a blast. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's interesting that you asked me because, you know, I write everything down and I always work with my business coach and stuff, and certainly part of my future planning and my vision board, I do all of those things, is around I did want to do more podcasting. I want to speak for a living. Yeah. And when this popped into my thing, I was like, check that out. There it is there. There's my first opportunity. And I was really excited to come, but I was also like, what the hell is this kid up to? I've got no idea what's happening. So I was really interested to come. And I've just had a wonderful time.
Hey, I'm so grateful you came here, and thank you.
I hope you don't have to edit too much.
No, I don't think I have anything. I've hosted. But look, I just want to be very grateful and very thankful you made it here, and I absolutely had a blast. I just want to be very clear. I really had a great time, and again, thank you for coming. And for the people who tuned in today, thank you for tuning in today. I hope we were able to at least inspire at least one person. You know, that's more than enough. And I leave you with a promise and hope that I will be back with another Courageous Heart next time. Until then, be safe, be courageous, and God bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This podcast is still growing, so every follow and share truly means a lot. Thank you for listening to Talk with a Courageous Heart.